Yeah.
Hi. Welcome.
This is how it all starts.
Hi.
So I might as well start here. No, I'm not one of those cats who talks about lifting yourself up by the bootstraps. I have had plenty of help. But I figured this was as good a place as any to start. I am sleepy, in a car, traveling up and down the eastern seaboard, watching the crescendo and decrescendo of the highway lights as we pass underneath them. Only to land in a trailer park, at least the first one, in upstate New York. A nurturing nature, trees, hills, creeks, flora and fauna, the stars, the Milky Way, our galaxy. And those rather interesting humans who live in this part of New York State. The part of New York that a lot of people forget about despite its massive acreage in comparison to that complex city with its messianic complex. 10. I wake up, I bounce to the bus, fake my way through another day of school, back onto the bus, and off to a computer, multiple video game systems, a home entertainment center, clean floors, stocked cabinets, a full refrigerator, a huge forested backyard with pheasants, and way more Legos than me. The cereal was so tasty and sweet. With the name, I'd seen it on TV.
Can I have another one?
After 4 bowls and their inquisitive looks, I simply say thank you. After school, I rarely went home, a trailer, but more often than not, to Drew's house, a home. It was big, it was comfy, secure. Line.
Where to? Where to from here?
Yes, that's a good question. Where to from there? So yeah, that says a lot, right? Where to from here? How much more do I have to dig into? I mean, this is like super bouncy. The concept of time as a linearity, it's an illusion. The Andean culture of the Aymara, look them up, talk about the past as being in front of them in plain sight, while the future, it's behind us, out of sight. Sometimes I let that future loom over me. Bear with me as I look straight ahead into the past. My current first world social services, aka the Apple Store. Wait for it. Wait for it. Y'all got a bathroom here? Wait for it. Ah, my name. I'm 10 again, but not in one of those trailers. It's a big concrete room with the toys in the corner. They're old and sticky. But first, wait for it. Wait for it.
I'm bored.
Wait for it. They used to give out actual food coupons back then. 1s, 5s, and 10s. Not this PIN code debit card thing. You could buy more than just food with those coupons. But first, wait for it. Wait for it. I can count the number of people in this chamber on my 2 little hands, yet your ticket says number 45? Wait for it. Wait for it.
I'm still bored.
Wait for it. Her number. At the age of 5, she showed me how to play records. First, you have to pick the right record. My favorite at the time was Winnie the Pooh. You have to be delicate about this. She showed me how to clean the record. And with the dexterity that a 5-year-old can manage, gently place the needle on the record.
Rolling under your honey tree, only a little black rain cloud. Pay no attention to little me.
This was my love of music. This is when I discovered my love of music. Music beyond the radio, the top 40. I listened to all of my mother's records. I read all of the lyrics. I read the thank you notes, the bios, and then I discovered album cover art too, like H.R. Giger, Frank Frazetta, Terry Gilliam, and one of my favorites, Roger Dean.
There, I'm just a little black honey cloud.
No one knows better.
But now we're in high school. I'm in high school. And I discovered punk music. Frankly, it was love at first sight. I think it was fate. I really do think it was fate. I found a community that accepted me for who I was, who I still am. And the first time I ever danced was in a mosh pit. But I discovered the Dead Kennedys, or should I say the Dead Kennedys discovered me. I still listen to them to this very day. The song has to do with nuclear proliferation, but the chorus is awesome and relevant. It's a little redundant to rebel against an already chaotic situation, but it was a release. Dash older now. Skipping the tweens and into the teens where the real stories begin. He smiled, lent a feathered hand, took us under his wing, and in one fell anesthetized swoop, he clipped our wings. He clipped our wings, our wings. There was an illusion of flight, safety, and life, but we spiraled down, and the ground was hard, real hard. The crash opens the eyes wide, real wide. This was real. He continued to ruffle these clipped feathers, these wounded wings that eventually heal and help Chiron fly. Bernoulli's principle returns full force, a dynamic lift from the rocks below.
Were we there yet?
Again, teens. I was the treasurer for Interact, this high school group that would go down and help the middle schoolers with these weekly skating events. I was the treasurer, and I had the till. It was something that I earned. It's something that I was granted. I felt really good about that position as the treasurer. However, I was also born to perpetually babysit. And I had a 3-year-old and a 6-year-old with me. And I was supposed to be at school at 6. But she and Mike, they weren't there yet. They knew I had to leave at 6, but they weren't there yet. So I had a decision to make. do what it is I wanted to do, what I'd earned to do, what I was granted to do, or what I was told to do. I decided to go to school and let the 3 and 6-year-old do their own thing. When I got to school, I met up with my friend Erica. She was also part of Interact. And I told her what I'd done, being an older sibling herself, and sort of my pseudo-sibling. She freaked out, and she was like, you need to go back home now. So I gave her the till. I went home. When I was home, she and Mike were there. They finally got there. And somehow, by the grace of whatever it is that is out there, my siblings were okay. Mike screamed at me, rightfully, I suppose. I then went into my bedroom to find that in a fit of rage, Mike had trashed it. He tore everything off of the walls, the shelves, the dresser, put a hole in the closet door, and he tore apart my poster of Yes is Fragile, designed by Roger Dean. I don't really remember the rest of the details that night, but that's probably for the better. Another highway, lights passing overhead, but this time I'm wide awake. I'm sitting shotgun. Mike, as usual, is in the driver's seat, and he proceeds to tell me a story, the full details of which I don't remember. But here's some highlights. A melon baller, so like melons, cantaloupe, a blowtorch. I'm guessing he lit with a piece of flint, duct tape, and screaming through the nose.
Even if I could, I don't need to say anymore.
Would have been followed by official information used for instructions. This station serves the state capital area. This concludes this test of the emergency broadcast system.
Fuck it. Fuck it. Let's get down to business. Let's get down to business. Let's get down to business. Let's get down to business.
Let's get down to business. Let's get down to business. Let's get down to business. Let's get down to business.
Did I want to tear JPEGs from his Facebook page that my morbid curiosity led me to sleuth and show you who he is? Maybe put a black bar over his soulless eyes, not to spare him ridicule, but because I just thought it was a cool, catchy, and criminal projected on that wall. But I won't. I won't do it. The edification I have worked so hard for over the years would only lead to guilt. My guilt. A guilt I wanted him to feel. And maybe he does feel that guilt. Or did at some point and worked his way through it via living amends. For those of you who know me, you know I have experience with that.
So now what? Should you reach out to him? Follow him on Instagram? Friend request him?
No. Create. Purge. Ablate.
Live.
And let die. With that being said, I've recently thought about training to be a death doula. Will you be mine? Is a little quaint soliloquy, no back and forth. It's only me, I was lost in thought. My tongue was caught, you cut me loose and set me free. I told a tale of how I lost my head. No flip of any coin by fate I'm led. A child who hears the word eviction over and over again modulates into an adult who hears the word evicted over and over again. There's a rondo, a form here, a rondo, A-B-A. Will there be a C, A-B-A-C? I passed the test, so I live life in jest. Memory often fails me, so paralysis and sleep, I count the wolves instead of sheep. And a seemingly loose thread seems to mend the seam of ripped dreams. I look for my providence in a rear view mirror. Remember, objects are always closer than they appear. But will our stories go to a pauper's grave or a gallery? Do our stories intertwine? What's mine is yours. Is yours mine? At the commencement of this endeavor, were two dreams on two nights. Both nights they are drunk, both nights I'm sober. The first night, they scream at me, the second night I scream at them. Power dynamic switcheroo, but I forgave you. Some questions still linger, I guess, as I finally organize this beautiful mess.
Something in me, dark and sticky.